What's up, everyone? It's Jeff Wood, just making this video to announce some exciting stuff going on in the world of the sound and the fury. This thing's making me red light. First off, I guess the biggest news is we have a show on June 8th in Pittsburgh, Kansas.
Let's fucking go!
Should be on all our social medias. I don't know much about it right now. I'm all the way out here in Texas, so I'm sure more information will come. Also, make sure you check out our brand new video, Alpha and Omega. Please watch it. Please share it with everyone. We worked really hard on it. We worked really hard on this album, Memento Mori. And speaking of Memento Mori, since the release of the album, we've actually been fortunate enough to get some, I guess we'd call it media attention. Immediately following this video, you can watch Aaron and John Floyd on a podcast with David Nastor called You Just Have to Laugh. While I'm speaking about all things media, I'm going to post the, there it was. I hope you saw it. Web address. There it is, right there. Our Linktr.ee page is kind of serving as our website right now. It has our Instagram, it has our YouTube, our Facebook, our TikTok, and it'll have links to all these interviews that we're going to be doing. It'll have a link to this podcast that Aaron and John Floyd just did. So, once again, thank you very much. Exciting news. Just to recap, June 8th, we're doing a show.
Let's fucking go!
Here you find out how you can get some tickets. Check out our video, Alpha and Omega. It is now available on our YouTube page. And also listen to the podcast coming up after this. Make sure you check out all the new interviews coming up. We will try our best to shove it down your throat on social media. But, you know, thanks. Enjoy the interview. Bye.
Perfect. We're just going now. Oh, folks, we're in for a treat. If you like rock and roll, you picked the right podcast to listen to because I don't know if I told you, John and Aaron Ogle, John Floyd, is from the Sound and the Fury rock band from the 90s.
Man, you make us sound old.
Yeah. You're a kid, brother. What are you, 32, 40, something like that? But, you know, if you guys, I don't know if you're much familiar with You Just Have to Laugh, the podcast, but what I have found out is humor and laughter helps us get through difficult times. And that's how I started this, being a comedian. So many people came up and said, man, thanks, I really needed that laugh. And then I figured out something. And that is, what helped me get through the most difficult times of my life was music.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and here you guys are playing, I mean, rock and roll, and now you guys just, is it called dropped a new EP, LP, CD?
What do we
What are
call,
people
what do we
saying
call it?
now?
What do you call it?
Dropped is a good word. We dropped it.
Yeah. But
We just-
now that
we-
it's streaming, is there a new phrase for that?
I don't know.
We just how about we just really got some really cool grooves out there now. You guys ought to listen to some cool grooves. Cool grooves, baby. So the Sound and the Fury, you guys, a rock and roll band in the 90s, you guys were on fire. You were heard all over the country, and the reason you were heard all over the country is you guys were driving all over the country.
Yeah, that really came in the early 2000s, I think, after high school, and then after a couple albums, that's when we started touring heavy. Mm-hmm. And yeah, coast to coast, New York, LA, and all points in between, north, south, Texas. Spent a ton of time in Texas. Love Texas for the music scene. Like, take Austin, Texas. What other city can you go to on a Sunday night and stand in their entertainment district and hear 5 live bands on any street corner? And you don't find that anywhere else.
Anywhere else in the country.
Yeah, it was amazing. There's a whole lane dedicated just for bands unloading.
Is that right?
Oh yeah, and every musician you're hearing is better than you, and they're in some small bar. You know what I mean? But then going to places like Fitzgerald's in Houston, or places where the legends have played, Stevie Ray Vaughan, and playing those bars and everything. And by the way, you hear about these bars, and then when you go see, like, going to the Whiskey A Go-Go, and you go there, and isn't it just like a letdown?
Kind of a letdown.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
You get so excited to go in, and then you see the
the one in
inside of
LA
it.
is
Yeah. Go to the Whiskey, and I mean, you played the Rainbow with.
I went to the Rainbow, played the Roxy.
Yeah. With Supernauts, right?
Supernauts, yep.
And was it the same thing as like the Whiskey?
Pretty much, yeah. It was like a letdown.
Yeah.
You build it up so much in
the
your mind.
reputation's so good, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with meeting rock stars. You know, it's like you meet these rock stars and you think it's going to be, you've listened to them your whole life,
Yeah.
right? And you've built them up that they're bigger, like a James Hetfield of Metallica personality, right?
Right.
Never met him, but you know, I imagine I don't want to.
Because
Every rock star I've met, other than one guy, Bret Michaels. Bret Michaels, was it Poison?
He was Poison. Yeah, he was in Poison.
We played with him and we hung out with him. When Jeff and I we like teched one night for him just to hang out with him, and he was the coolest, nicest guy.
isn't that nice?
And I think he was drinking orange juice before he went on the show or before he hit the stage. You know, like he was nothing with no vodka. I mean, like he just was drinking some orange juice, went on stage, and he killed it. Not even my kind of music.
Right.
Like didn't even dig Poison or anything, but the show he put on, to see the showmanship, the entertainment, or the entertainer in him, it was awesome. And the fact that he was genuinely a good guy. And then you hung out we crossed paths with other bands, and it was just disappointment. And now you listen to them today, well, they'll come on streaming or phone or something, and it's kind of a disappointment because, you know, you cross paths with them, and maybe they just didn't give you a time of day.
Yeah. And you know what, you guys too, you know, especially being a comedian and doing that too, sometimes you just catch people on the wrong day. You just don't know what they've been through that day. And then sometimes you find out, no, they're just a jerk.
Well, see, Dave, now that I think about it, I think a lot of people have caught me on the wrong day.
That's your excuse.
That was Aaron. That was not John. That was Aaron.
No, you know, I probably fairly honestly earned a reputation of being a lot of wrong days in a row.
Really?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Because?
Being on the road's a hard life, you know, from
Well,
what
yeah,
you
but
know.
not like you guys. I mean, you know, I'm traveling maybe in a car or plane. You guys are loading up stuff, putting it away, loading it up stuff, putting it away, you know,
Yeah,
and begging for money from club owners to try to stiff you.
Yeah.
John Floyd, how many times in a 24-hour period you're playing for an hour, maybe 4 hours, right? But really, after you're playing your originals, you're doing an hour and a half, 2 hours. But you're spending all that other time traveling. You're spending loading in, loading out, setting up your merch, negotiating with the bar owners and stuff, making sure the doorman's not ripping you off. You know, and all that other time where there's the business side of it, and you then also have to be on when a fan walks up, and you have to turn into that person. So I would just shy away. I would just stay in the van and drink whiskey, and I just hung out.
What a good rock and roll guitar player does.
And
Keith Richards, the role model.
But I think it earned a reputation of being like of not approachable or what have you. And now, you know, now that I've aged and got kids involved in doing this, now you try to be good stewards of it and show them the right way of doing it, and how you treat people matters, right? Even though my dad was telling me that when we were you know, because realize we were 15 years old and our parents were signing us into bars to play.
That's how early you guys started, 15 years old.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, let's stop. Let's stop there for a second because we're going to get to your new one you just dropped called Memento Mori.
Yeah.
Which is, we'll get to that because that's okay. We'll just hold that. But folks, you've got to hang with this. Memento Mori is truly one of the coolest expressions I've ever heard. Do you know about what it means?
Oh, sure.
Trappist monks came up with it, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Well, no, let's get to it now.
Let's do it now.
Trappist monks would greet each other in the morning and say Memento Mori, which means remember you're mortal. Remember you're dying. Remember you're going to die, which makes you want to live that day and truly live. What a great way to start that. Where'd you guys first hear Memento Mori?